name is Reece Klein, a level-headed female. I'd like to believe that I am a level-headed female. I'm a strong believer in doing what you love and loving what you do. And yeah, I guess in a nutshell, that is who I am. I am a radio presenter, a journalist, a part-time model, and a DJ. Very tricky, because I know a lot of people oftentimes ask me, how are you a model and still a DJ at the same time? So like I said a little bit earlier on, I'm a firm believer in doing what you love, and I actually am an R&B DJ, and alongside that I also am the co-founder of the Bear Cares Foundation. So the Bear Cares Foundation is aimed to lending a helping hand at less fortunate kids, but not only for kids, but more for everyone that needs help in the greater community. And I think more than anything, how do I juggle everything around? It just goes back to planning. I know that my mom is a very level-headed and she's headstrong in whatever she believes in, and she always tells me, before you get into anything, plan it out. It could be mentally, or you could even like write it down, like journal it, you know. So that is basically how I go about my life. So every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, okay, this is what I want to do today. This is how I'm going to do it. This is when I'm going to do it. So by the end of the day, I should at least be able to tick down at least 2 or 3 things that I've done. And that is how I juggle it, because at least once you plan something mentally or physically, you know that, okay, around 9 a.m. I have this meeting, around 11 I need to be there because I have a gig, you know. So basically planning. You need to have planning in your life, and I think that also lays out a perfect, not perfect because nothing is really perfect, but it lays out a great format for your life. I do what I do because I am a strong believer in doing what you love, because when you do what you love, you do it to the best of your ability, out of love. And like I said, I'm a radio presenter at a community radio station, and I also have the Bear Cares Foundation going on. So ultimately, I just love working with people, and I believe that is my purpose on this earth that God has given me, to just help other people, to give them a helping hand, and just be there when they can't be there for themselves. Accomplishing anything in life is generally not easy, you know. You always have to question yourself if this is going to work. Like there are those questions subconsciously, like if this is going to work, how am I going to go about it? So the smallest thing you accomplish in life is really something worth celebrating. So I'm not going to say it was easy, but what I can tell you is that throughout life's journey, I've learned a lot, and anything that I learn from is an achievement for me. Rome wasn't built in one day. I still feel like I'm not at my end goal, but it took me about 5 years. This includes my years of studying and obviously working, because I started working, I think, during my last year of studying. So I would say it took me a good 5 years. Throughout the journey, there were some obstacles, highs, lows, but above it all, we conquer, and I overcame, and that's what brings me here today. So I studied television and radio broadcasting at Damlin. My campus was down in Bramley. It was something that I never really wanted to do. To be honest, I never wanted to study. I thought like I'll take a gap year after matric, but then I think it was in the following year, just after I matriculated in January, I actually had this change of mind, and I was like, you know what, let me try this radio or television broadcasting. And I guess it was God's will. You know, when something is destined to be yours, it just happens, because I actually was the last person to get accepted at Damlin College for the particular course. So I do believe that it was God's will for me to be here, or to do this rather. Sure, trusting the process, man, that's a difficult one. But for me, I'm gonna say, just let God take control, man. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm a believer. I love God. I praise and worship in my spare time. So I'm going to say let God take control, because many a times us as humans, we tend to lean on our own understanding, and we don't realize that God's plan for our lives isn't necessarily the plans that we have for ourselves, you know. So sometimes when things don't work out, you tend to question, be it God or your family or friends, but we always have those questions like, why didn't it work out? Why me? but we don't realize that maybe that's not what God wants you to do. So for me, trusting the process is basically just surrendering it, give it to the Lord, and He will guide you, because I do believe He'll never, and I repeat, He'll never lead us astray. Never give up. Your dreams are valid. Yes, there will be naysayers. Yes, there may be haters, but above it all, this journey is yours and yours alone. Like I said previously, walk with God. He'll never lead you astray. Keep going. If you fall, get back up. Let's take Michael Jordan. He missed like 9,000 shots. Thomas Edison, he failed so many times at creating the light bulb, but look at us today, still using it. And that for me, once again, is just showing that whenever you fall, make sure you get back up and you keep going. Keep going, because in the end, the goal will still be yours. Well, I would say as a believer, how I've created the balance is, obviously, like I mentioned, that I'm a DJ, and people obviously associate that part of life with like nightlife, But in the end, like I said, this journey is mine, and whatever goes on in my heart, and I know what my relationship is with God, is ultimately just between the two of us. People can judge me, and yes, they are. I'm sure there are people currently judging me, or there still will be if there isn't any. But in my mind, I know what my current standing is with my Creator, and I won't let anyone on this earth, because He is the one that created us, and He is above everyone. So how can I let someone that He created belittle me or make me feel some type of way as to I'm not living my life according to God's will? So I just believe that it's what goes on in my heart and my relationship with God. So my end goal is obviously, like I said, I'm still at a community radio station, which is kind of the base or the foundation of it all. And this is just where I'm starting. I'm learning a lot. I'm also finding myself and finding my feet. But ultimately, the end goal is for me to start my own radio station one day. I would also like to start a media school for females. So the reason why I say this is because I know that, speaking from my own experience, females in this industry always get the shorter end of the stick. Like, especially for me, when I go around like looking for gigs, yes, I would get the gig, but then obviously there would be this person that has ulterior motives behind that. And it's really just difficult as a female hustler to make it to the top, like on the straight and narrow. So what I would love to do is start a school for females, have my own radio station. Well, it would be a media school for females, and also have my own radio station where we can also use radio as a marketing tool to educate, entertain, and just, speak to the masses. So firstly, I want to say that I do think that the radio space is very closed, like the radio industry is very closed. Many times we find like young, talented people that really wants to get the job in either a commercial radio station or a community radio station, but it's so hard getting in, mainly because of experience. So if I'm fresh out of college and I apply at a radio station, they want experience. How then do I get in there when nobody wants to give me that platform to gain the experience? So I think this also leads back to me saying that I'd like to start my media school for females, so that I can help females that were like me at the time I was in college. And also coming back to your question where you asked if the future of radio for females, I do think females have great potential in radio, and I would like to live to see the day where we have more females in radio, especially like on a Sunday. Sundays are super chilled, but we always listen to these male voices that goes well with the R&B. But I'm yet to see a radio station that only has females on a Sunday, and that is why I want to work so hard to achieve my goals. I'm gonna say Dineo Ranaka, Lirato Khanyago, Anele. Okay, then I named females. I'm sure you saw what I was doing there. I named females, and then obviously coming to the guys, I'm gonna say Wilson V, Msizi, Moji. They're also really good. So those are the type of females I look up to. And when it comes to DJing, Lamise Hallworthy. She's the girl she thinks she is. I love her. I love her style. I love everything she does. She's just a really great inspiration for me. And hopefully one day I will be able to work alongside her. Fingers crossed. How difficult is it for people of color to get in the industry? Well, for me, I'm going to speak for myself. It's really, really difficult because obviously once you hit television and radio, everyone expects you to sound a certain way. Everyone expects you to look a certain way, which is very difficult because I do believe that everyone is like a unique individual and everyone has their own style of doing things. So with me, I'm really going to say that it is difficult. Like I said, because looking back at the people I was in college with, I think we literally just till this day that currently have jobs in the industry, which really also shows how close the industry is. There's really not much opportunities, and the little that there is, people really expect you to look and sound some type of way. This once again boils down to what I said in the beginning when I said I was headstrong and level-headed. So know your surroundings, always stand your ground, regardless of how difficult it is. Yes, as a young female or as the youth, we're all trying to secure the bag because we all have dreams, goals, visions set for ourselves. But in the end, don't ever do anything because what you do today really just determines your future. So always live with the mindset that whatever I'm doing now is gonna come back to bite me in the future, be it good or be it bad. Whatever you put in is gonna come back to you. If it's good energy, it's gonna come back to you in tenfold. If it's bad energy, it's gonna come back in tenfold. So just be headstrong, stand your ground. If it's something that you're not comfortable with, be vocal about it, but don't shy away from speaking about it. So Miss Jungle is an international pageant which promotes tourism, conservation, and relations between participating countries. The pageant was held on the 24th September 2021, which is on Heritage Day. Unfortunately for me, I managed to walk away with the Miss Jungle charity crown. And I can only thank God for this because, like I mentioned, my foundation played a major role in this because throughout the pageant, I've been having food drives, school shoe drives, haircut drives for less fortunate kids in the community. And not only in the community, but the greater Gauteng. My foundation is really small, but it's one of my plans to have it grown and to get it bigger so that I can keep giving to the greater SA, God willingly, one day. So that is basically what Miss Jungle SA 2021 is all about. And like I mentioned, I was crowned Miss Jungle SA Charity 2021. So before radio, the type of person I was a really, really, really shy girl growing up. My mom always used to tell me, you don't have to be shy. Stop being shy. Go, do this, do that. And I also think that also made me miss a lot of opportunities growing up because of my shyness, because I would be too shy to enter a competition or to do something that I know would possibly benefit me. So what I can say is radio really gave me the platform to find myself, and it also showed me that it's okay to speak up for yourself, and it's also okay to disagree with things that people expect you to agree with. Entirely everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and that is what radio is to me. It's like a great marketing tool to educate other people, because that's what I want to do. Because growing up, I never had any of these opportunities where people would my parents was there, they were my support structure, but when it comes to, I always live my life in such a way that I want to give others the opportunities that I didn't have. So if radio allows me to speak about my experiences growing up and helping another shy girl growing up, so then so be it. So I would say radio really helped me get out of my shell or out of my box. And I appreciate my station manager for giving me the opportunity to do that.